You're listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast, celebrating hunting dog heritage, competition, and community. United Kennel Club has been the hunting dog sports home for coonhounds, beagles, retrievers, pointers, cur, feist, and more for over 125 years.
Welcome back to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. This is Trevor Wade. I'm the Coonhound Program Manager here at UKC. And today, here to my right, I got the Director of Hunting Ops, Alan Gingrich. What's going on, Alan?
It's a good day. We're sitting here with several of our reps today talking to them. So we're going to hit the record button here and record some of this stuff. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. I think we're going to talk a little bit, just kind of let the folks get to know our reps a little bit more. And I'm sure we'll learn some things that we didn't know, hopefully. We know a whole lot about Jaime Estep, but the rest of them, we'll probably learn a thing or two about him still. But
yeah, we can kind of go around the table here. To your right there, we got Mr. Philip Foster from South Carolina. What's going on, Philip? We're here at the Tournament Champion Finals. You enjoying yourself?
Oh, I'm having a great day. It's beautiful weather outside and just happy to be here, Trevor.
To your right, we got Mr. Curtis Sparks from North Carolina. What about you? How have you enjoyed yourself?
I've enjoyed myself real well. I like coming to these big hunts, and I've had a good time.
May have to pass it over to Mark Vest there to your right from Texas. What's going on, Mark? First time here at the Tournament Champion Finals, right?
Long drive, but I enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, so far we got one more night ahead of us, and it's the shortest night yet, but still fun. And finishing out our round table here to your right, we got our rep from West Virginia, kind of wearing two hats this weekend as you have the past couple of years. Jaime Estep, what's going on, man?
Hey, doing well. This is the best I've looked on a screen. You know, you can't see my face, so I look good here today. But I'm doing well. I'm having a great time and just always enjoying being here.
I guess maybe we'll start with you, Philip, a little bit. What let the people know what kind of got you in these hounds? Was it a family thing? Was it by happenstance?
It was. I grew up with beagle hounds. My dad, we always had beagles. Always enjoyed rabbit hunting. But when I was little, I got interested in coon hounds and started coon hunting and really enjoy the hounds now. I still love beagles, but it's kind of hard to keep both. And so I'm keeping the hounds right now.
you said your dad used to have beagles too?
Yeah, we had beagles for years. Kept a pack of beagles.
What type of dog what type of beagle did you run?
It was just medium speed beagles, two couple pack type hounds.
Did you compete with them too?
We did.
Did you?
Yeah, we did.
I didn't know that. Curtis, what about you? How'd you get introduced to this lifestyle?
My dad always done it. On my mom's side, her dad done it. My grandpa on her side, that's the only two that ever hunted. I started when I was kind of young, going about 4 years old. Been going ever since.
Didn't have a choice, huh?
No, I
Had
really
it from
enjoy
both
it.
sides. What about you, Mark?
Pretty much the same thing. My dad started me when I was probably 3 years old. He'd let me go on the first round with him. Of course, I'd get tired and sleepy. Well, he'd go put me in the truck, let me go to sleep, and they'd finish out their hunting. But we hunted mostly unregistered dogs back in the day. Then when I got up into high school, of course, I bought my first registered blue tick. Been hunting them ever since.
Jaime, what about you?
Same thing as these guys, was just pretty much born into it. I say all the time, I don't ever remember life without a dog. And so probably same answer. My dad, my grandpa, I just don't ever remember. I think I would get up and go feed a dog even if I didn't have one. I'd still go down there and put food out in the pan just because you've did it for 51 years. So I don't ever remember life without a dog.
A lot of the stuff that we do now currently, has to do with rule stuff. What do you remember back when you first started getting in competition and became serious about maybe judging or being interested in the rules set?
My whole thing is I think you and I talked about it on a podcast one time. You asked me what has changed in the sport of coon hunting, and I said it would be easier to answer what hasn't changed in the sport of coon hunting. And I said the only thing that hasn't changed is the coon. Everything else has changed. I can remember the 3-hour cast and how did we ever survive the 3-hour cast, and now the hunting areas and things like that. The style of dog has changed. So for me to get serious about competition, one of the big things would probably be the 3 hours, the type of dog that you would see. I can remember going in and hunting hunts in Virginia and West Virginia, and you really spent the whole night hunting, pretty much. And so I would say the time change.
Hey, Jaime, you mentioned the 3-hour thing. At that time, that was probably one of the most significant changes in the sport that they saw in a long time. That
I think
time change.
That, and then I'm not sure exactly what year we kind of moved down to looking at the 2-hour hunts, but then
that was the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, and then also I can remember back when you got championship points for just having plus points. And so, I can remember, man, the whole sport realm changing where you had to have the cast win to before you started getting the championship.
Yeah.
When you went to having the cast win, you cut down on a lot of some falsifying some scorecards. It'd be all right if everybody got plus points. You're still going to get championship wins. So I remember those two changes, and so I've been around doing it a long time, and so I can remember all of that.
Hey, even in today's world, when there's a significant change made, or even any change for that matter, and a significant one, I guess, it seems like oftentimes you hear it's the end all for the sport but I remember when that 2 to 3 hour or 3 to 2 hour thing, that was the same way even with a lot of the older guys back then. But it didn't take long till they liked the 2 hours.
And I always say, people ask me which one do I like. I like it if I'm winning. If I'm winning at the end of 2 hours, that's good. If I need 3 hours, sometimes I need that. But I could sometimes like for the cast to end at an hour, But you adapt to it, and that's the beauty of people most of the time. And, my career as a pastor, I said all the time, people have a unique ability to adapt. They might complain just a little bit, but they kind of fall in suit, and most of the time we just see the negative and stuff. We never take time to look at the positive. And, and that's now we see probably one of the newest changes is the allowing of double headers. And, for me in West Virginia, my local club, we've laughed and said, everybody knows I'm not a big fan of double headers. I like to go hunt them someplace else, but I don't like to host them because where I hunt, my people, we have to drive to get to where so it's not that I don't like them, it's that I don't like to host them, and that's don't mind to go hunt them someplace, but it's just me and what works for me.
What about you, Mark? When did you make the jump into the competition side of the sport?
Oh, it was probably right after we went to the 2-hour hunting rule, late 80s, I guess, probably when I first hunted in a competition hunt.
Yeah, did it right away? Do you remember jumping into judging, or when did you get into that, and also get your Master Hounds license?
I think my Master Hounds license was probably in the early 90s.
Gotcha.
As far as judging, it took me a while to get the rules down to the point that I felt comfortable in judging, because I always hated to get cheated. And I wanted to know the rules and wanted everybody in the cast to know the rules.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest misconceptions, or sometimes we can get those frustrating calls on Monday morning, and you can find out pretty quick that a lot of them boil down to less about getting cheated in a cast, and some people just aren't really familiar with the rule set and how it works, and you can feel like you're getting slighted if you're not familiar with the rules a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
What about you, Curtis? When did you start getting into the competitions?
The first one I remember was my dad went to Little Rock, Arkansas for the ACHA World Hunt, and when he came back, he didn't do any good. Well, when he came back, we started going a little around the house to the UKC and stuff. Like Jaime said, the 3-hour hunts, and if you had plus points, you'd place in the top 10, and then everything changed to like it is, And then my first one, I was going to hunt a little female, black and tan. Her name was Blackie. She wouldn't hunt about 100 yards from you, and I wanted to go, so we went and bought that dog that morning, and we took it and went hunting, and I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah, do you remember when you first got your Master of Hounds license, started dabbling on this side of the table?
Well, I've had my Master Hound license a long time, but when I was about 12, 13, or 14, I always helped at Southeastern Tree and Walker Association, draw casts and get up guides. And back then we had a lot of satellite clubs, and you had to get everybody arranged and stuff. And I knew a lot of people because my dad and my grandpa and stuff. And I always helped, and I enjoyed that part on that side of the table from that early age.
Yeah. Philip, how long did it take you to jump into competing with some hounds?
I started competing in the middle 80s with hounds, and I tell you what, I can remember hunts about every weekend. Then there'd be 4 dog cast, and you'd handle those 4 dogs on the same tree for that whole hunt. just typically you needed that first tree. I mean, I remember so many hunts you'd be hunting, and it'd be so close, you know, and you'd say, I got to get this last tree, and you'd handle those dogs on the same tree, and it's changed so much nowadays, you know, you see that.
That was still a fun game, though, was it not?
It was really fun. I enjoyed it. I sure did. And,
Yeah, I always did too. But the question I would like to ask you guys is, what clubs are you did you start with and that you currently support or belong to in your area or state associations?
I currently I was president for a little while of Bowman, Georgia Tri-County Coon Club for a number of years, and I'm a member of Abbeville Coon Club there in South Carolina. I helped them out a lot. Bowman, Georgia, there we actually put on the World Hunt in 2017, and we done the TOC regions there for 3 years, so it's been good.
Yeah, I remember that one. What year was it? 2018? 17. That's the thing I remember. Well, a couple things. I remember pulling in there. There you are, and doggone it, I forget his name now. If you tell me.
Wallace Gillespie?
Wallace, no, I'm not him. Another guy. Kevin Rowe. We're all there ready to help unload and tickled that we were there, and I still remember the hospitality of that. And the second thing I remember is how hot it was that weekend.
Wow, it was a hot weekend,
It
wasn't it,
was
Alan?
a hot weekend, but it was hot everywhere.
Yep, it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good. You had some good zones down there, good state championships and everything.
Right, we really have had a lot of good support in that area from clubs and all.
Yeah.
And, I never had a problem getting guides. Even when we had the TOC regions, everybody stepped up, and we had some good years down there.
Yeah, Curtis, what are some of the clubs you support or belong to in your neck of the woods?
Well, Southeastern Trail Walker, I'm the vice president right now. I support it a whole lot. And then I'm the president of Stone Mountain Coon Club. We've had the zones a couple of times.
NC 77. I still know your club ID number.
Yes, sir. That's it. My first club was the Wilkes County Coon Club. It's a NC 042. My dad and grandpa built it. Helped a lot of fellas build it.
How far is that from your club?
It's about 30 miles.
Yeah. They still have pretty good events there, too.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
They do. And I always call that my home club. The Stone Mountain Club, I started December the 9th, 1987. Wrote the bylaws and stuff. But at our house, we have Wilkes County, Davie County, Saratown, and we all kind of work together. Our club's kind of in the middle of all of them, and when one has a hunt, we all pitch in together.
Mark, what about you? I guess when I came on board, I got to deal with you quite a bit with your roles in the state association at the Paris Club there. Is that Paris Club? Was that your home club growing up?
Yes, my first tenure with the club was the Lamar Coon Hunters Association there in Paris, Texas. We hosted the American Heritage Hunt for several years before they moved it to the state association. Then I was the president of the Texas State Coon Hunter Association for several years. As I got older, I decided younger folks need to take it over, and so I backed off, and now Joel Black's president of the Texas State Coon Hunter Association.
Those events there, the state association event, state championship, that used to be a huge deal in your state, and still is. But those were some of my first trips to Texas. Actually, was going to your state association the weekend after Autumn Oaks. And the one thing I remember about that is getting down into Dallas or wherever we had it, Houston or wherever. No, you'd have it around, where was it? Madisonville.
Fairfield.
Fairfield. But get off that plane, and that was a different kind of heat, getting off that plane.
Oh, yeah, very humid.
Yeah.
And it's usually typically hot, and occasionally you'd get some rain during the state hunt. But most of the time it's dry and all that sand. And you know, back when I first started going down there, we'd hunt over 300 dogs a night. Of course, it's dropped off now. It has everywhere, I guess. But, yeah, we handled a lot of dogs through that state hunt.
Yeah, you know, so that area, I've been in a couple areas there with the state championship, you know, moved around a little bit, you know, in the last 20 years. So, but we need to get Trevor down there to Paris. He and I were talking about it the other day. I've always just liked that area. You know, you think, okay, if you've never been there, it's, as far as the hunting, if you don't know it, it was a lot better than I might have thought it would be.
Yeah, we have some really good hunting for Texas. You know, it ranges from creek hunting to big open type wood type hunting. I know at the when we had the zone hunt down there. We usually have some pretty good scores come in, moving on up, going to the World Hunt.
Yeah, and you're right. You've had the zone hunts there a bunch since I've been involved with a lot of years.
Yeah, it went from our club. We had it for 4 or 5 years consecutive, and then it went to Queen City for several years,
Yep.
and then we've got the zones back at Paris now.
Earl Maxwell was one of the staples down there in that area. Randy Norris, who travels with you quite a bit.
Yep.
That's where I first met Randy, actually. And
yeah, we lost Big Earl. We called him
Yep.
Big Earl. We lost him, I believe it was March 5th of last year. He's been gone a year now.
Yeah. That's where, like I said, where I first met Randy, and we went hunting on Earl's property. Randy and I did. I don't remember anybody else went, but that's just another example of, you create these relationships with people, and Randy's one of those for me, just from those trips to Texas. And I still love seeing him come to these events with you now, coming around to him. And but
yeah, we call him an import because he actually is from North Carolina,
right? Yeah,
he
he's
moved
still got
into
a brother
Texas, then comes down there and wins all our cash, takes all of our cash wins away
well,
from us.
that's what happens when you hunt good dogs. Hey,
right.
I've hunted with some of his dogs.
Jamie, what about you? I know you're you got the Beverly Club there now, but did you come from a little bit south?
I come from southern West Virginia. Was involved with a club in southern West Virginia. We started Sandy River Sportsman Club that still operates there today, and then I'm just impressed that these guys remember their UKC number. I have to text you and ask you ours. I don't ever remember that, so that's impressive that Curtis could remember all of those. But I can blame him for something now. If he was the guide coordinator at Southeastern and always got sent to Vail, I couldn't tree a coon in Vail, North Carolina if I had to. So that's Curtis's fault. So he and I are going to talk when we're done about that. But
let it go, Jamie. Let it go. Let it go.
It could have been the dog I was hunting, but we're going to blame Curtis. So.
It must have been an English.
It was an English dog. That's but anyhow.
Shredder too.
No, it wasn't Shredder. It was before Shredder.
Shredder's
time.
daddy.
It's but now I'm part of the Appalachian Coon Hunters in Beverly, West Virginia. We're in Randolph County, which is north from where I was raised, and then also serve as the president of the West Virginia State Coon Hunters. This will be my 4th year on that, and the way our bylaws are set up, I'll be cycling off this year, so I will be finishing up my time.
I have another question. I don't want to hog all this, but one question I'd like to hear from all of you is a dog. Everybody's probably got their yardstick dog, and maybe something that dog won, whatever that might have been, or maybe it wasn't even a win. But
for me, that's easy, and it's not Shredder. It's a dog that I had right at the end part of high school, going into college, was a dog that I called Mountain Pride Honky off of Rooster, and a junior female that off of Jim Cridlin's female that was off of Joe Summers' Tennessee Woody dog. Honky to me was a once-in-a-lifetime dog. I don't think I'll ever own anything that can match him. Drew and I argue about that a lot. Drew would just say to me, "Deader the better," and I'll tell him that that Shredder wouldn't even be able to hold Honky a light. But so for me, Shredder's up there, but Honky was by far my best dog, and he's the measuring stick of all.
I guess I'd say my best dog was a female I had. I bought her from Mike Davis from over around Como, Texas, back in 1989. Oh, Big Earl, talking about Big Earl. We made it we went up to Claremore, Oklahoma to the zones, and I had the high scoring dog of the night on Friday night at those zones. And the same year that the Smoky River Hoss won second in the World Hunt. And so we made it to Crockett, Texas, and ended up winning the female side, the world champion. I'd say world champion, but I mean, she was the blue tick winner on the female side. Talking about Big Earl again. He made a cap while he was down there. He had an old English dog he called Elephant. I'm sure you probably heard of him because he's a great big old English dog. And he had a cap made that said, had Elephant on the top of it, and he said, "Trainer of the world champion blue tick." But me and him hunted back in those days. It was pretty much every night. We was hunting, and we took that little female, and of course hunting them 2 dogs, I mean, she turned into a really nice one.
Curtis, what about you? You've switched breeds a little bit back and forth. Black dogs, Walker dogs.
I hunt any color if it don't bark on the track. But my favorite dog was Miles Moonlit Penny. She was off of Red Eagle Joe, which was a litter mate to Red Eagle Dick, and her mama was named Brandy, which was off of Rock River Ring 2. And that was in the early 80s that I bought her on my own as a little pup, and then everything I have now is out of her. That's all I keep now. When Southern English days comes around, I'll buy an English dog just to hunt that hunt and support them. Then you got to give them a little help. You know, Jamie needed help in the early 70s at Walker days, so I tried to help him then. That's my favorite and always will be.
Well, this is an easy one for me. It'd be Foster's Lockdown Bendy, a little female I trained.
I wondered if you weren't going to say Bendy.
Yeah.
We were just looking at her wins here a couple days ago.
Yep.
Pretty impressive for the time. Go ahead.
Sure was. She's a little female I trained out of Moore's All Grand Kate, the nighttime prowler out of All Grand Litter, and I was really blessed to hunt this dog. I met a lot of friends and traveled a lot of places. I hunted in the UKC World Hunt Finals twice, Pure Internationals, won the South Carolina Hall of Fame in 2017. High-scoring female at the Grand American 2 times. Just a female with a big mouth, a trailing type dog. Would tree the first coon she come to, trail it up. Good for our country. Without a doubt, the best hound I've ever had. Just a pleasure to hunt.
Yeah, I mentioned we were looking at her wins, and those wins came before we calculated all cast wins. That was just actual night champion wins or grand champion wins, and in those days her record reflects those wins where she was the high scoring dog of the category, or if there were enough night champions to where they gave more than one. But that was pretty impressive for a dog that hasn't ran like a series or something, that wasn't pushed that hard. So she must have had a good win ratio for sure.
Yep, she was a consistent cast winner, just a solid hound, just a pleasure to hunt.
And it's hey, I have not had the best dogs either, but I feel like I've had a couple good dogs. I got my yardstick dogs too. But when you have a dog like that, man, it makes you appreciate what a dog can really do.
It absolutely
does. It does something, especially if you appreciate dogs. I've always loved dog work. Didn't really matter what it was, to do what it was bred to do, but coonhounds are definitely no different, and some are just better than others.
When you have a dog like that, you always compare every dog you get to that one dog, and you're never really satisfied. I hadn't been.
Speaking on that a little bit, talking about some of your yardstick dogs, we're here at Tournament Champion Finals. We're sitting on maybe the wrong side of the table. Sometimes it feels that way, sitting in there seeing all these dogs competing. How would it feel bringing? We'll start with you and go back around, but bringing your old hound here and competing in an event like this, how would that get you feeling, you think?
Oh man, I've thought about it a lot, Trevor. She was just a real consistent cast winner, and I was thinking, it'd been great to hunt her in something like this.
I know it can be tough, Curtis. You took a little break there, got to compete in some of the majors, but did you come here? Did you come to the TLC finals? Yeah. So you kind of got to feel this a little bit, being there competing in this event. What'd you think about being here, being on that side of it?
We had a good time. It takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of the dog. We got lucky and got in the top 24. But when you come here, if your dog's not ready, and because all dogs are ready when you get this far, and they're all tough and they're hard to beat if your dog's not ready.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mark, what do you think it'd be like coming to a hunt like this? You think it'd get the butterflies rolling around?
Oh, it definitely would get the butterflies rolling around. But that female I had, I don't know she'd compete with these dogs they got today. She was more of a pack type animal, and she got her share of first trees.
Yeah. But
this walking a mile one way and the other, it'd wear me out. I won't think I could last 2 hours.
Kind of funny, this area here, Greencastle, you hear a lot of people talk about the hills, and yeah, compared to a lot of northern Indiana, it is a little hillier around here. But man, what a weekend it's been here. I think we looked down there and they're treeing almost 4.7 coons per cast here, which is it's crazy how much they kind of get split up, and you don't get to call time out and try to save time that way. They're pretty much walking from dog to dog all night, which is pretty impressive upon itself. But
You know, when we left here this morning, we seen 3 coons going in back to the hotel within 3 miles, you know.
Did you take the little
No, we
back-
actually went up the hardtop.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No doubt. Jamie, what about you? I know you and Drew been all over. You've hunted in some of the biggest events. Did you guys didn't come to this one, did you?
No, for me, I guess that question's twofold to me. Go back, if I would feel like, what would I feel like with my chances if I had Honky down here? The thing would be is if I could go back to the age that I was hunting Honky, I would love to have Honky here at this level, because I think he was ahead of his time on, being by himself, moving like he moved. I wouldn't even want to hunt Honky right now. If I did find him, I'd have to beg Drew out of retirement, and if I could find another one like him, I would be spending my dad's money before my dad even knew that we was spending the money. But as a competitor, yes, I would love to see. I would love to be here. There's nobody probably at this table more competitive than me that wants to win. I don't care if we're playing marbles. I want to win. And that's one thing I do say is these other guys sitting here as field reps, we as field reps need to go and compete in the few, because sometimes you forget what's going on out there when it comes to applying rules and moving. And, it's good to go out there and carry the scorecard and actually have to listen. So very much so, on the competitive side, I would truly enjoy it, and be able to do this with that dog. Yeah, I would, and I'd feel very confident rolling up in here too. So that's it.
Hey, you mentioned that you need to do that, and I feel the same way for me. I think it just helps, and it's sometimes I think you can sit behind the table and make all the decisions, and you just need to get out there and stay out there sometimes. And that's the biggest thing that I miss is competing, But hey, another thing along those same lines is. Here a couple of years ago, I went to a AKC Beagle trial, and it made me think about, on the way up, didn't really think about it so much. I kind of had other reasons I went to, like a big hare trial is what I went to. But it made, on the way up there, I'm thinking, you know what, I may have entered a AKC trial 30 years ago if I ever did. I think maybe 1 or 2, and I had somebody with me. On the way up there, I'm thinking, man, I don't know anything about the process for entering and this and that, and starting feeling a little bit, you know what? I know everything about UKC, all this. So now I'm kind of putting myself in the shoes of a new person coming to an event, and I thought, you know what? This is good for me, and it was. But kind of go in there and really, even it is quite a bit different. It's kind of the same, but it's a lot different, and I know I'm not going to hardly know anybody. Putting myself in a position like that of almost a new person, it's kind of good for you to do that sometimes. And it made me think of how important it is for, as a club, if there's a new person to come along, how much good it does to go recognize that this is a new person and make sure to help them, make them feel comfortable. Some are going to walk into it a lot easier than others, where others are going to be a little reserved, especially when they don't know anybody. But it's the same way with, kind of staying on top of things. But we can, I think, sometimes as officials or us at UKC, and same thing with you guys as reps, how people might feel coming to your event, and how do we recognize that,
I tell students all the time working in the school system, and this is my speech on first day of class. I would always tell them, you're not that smart. Don't cheat, and don't think that you've come up with a new way to cheat without getting caught. You're not that smart. And I think sometimes being out in the field hunting a dog, you can see that scorecard, and you can almost tell what's went on in that cast if you look at that scorecard and listen. If you've been participating enough, if you've been in many hunts, you know what rules are being twisted, or where they're being applied, or what's being done. And so I think being out there and hunting in some cast, like I hunted in one a couple weeks ago, and I was really good. I made it 32 minutes and had 425 minus, and 32 minutes, and so we didn't get to last long there, but we tried anyhow. So that's I think it's a good thing. So you three need to enter a hunt here shortly. So
They're all welcome at the Beverly, West Virginia Club.
We do have the plot sectional coming up, so I want to see all of you guys up there. We don't have many hills. Great hunting.
We got mountains.
I didn't finish the statement, but just come on. I'll even pay y'all's 3 entry fees and buy your food. So just come on. I'll let all 3 of y'all judge.
You'll see some early withdrawals in y'all's future, but you get a free meal. But no, hey, I know we got some other things to do here. We got our people rolling in. We got some food we can get down there and munch on before tonight's final.
They can't start without us, so don't worry. It's
That's true. But hey, I like sitting down with you guys, introduce the people. They see your faces up here. They get to know you a little bit. Appreciate you guys. It's a long weekend. You guys don't get a lot of rest. You got to make some tough decisions sometimes. Sometimes you got to be the bad guy at some thankless stuff. But just to let you know, we appreciate you for sure. Always enjoy hanging out with y'all. And man, it's been a fun weekend.
I just want to say, Trevor, thanks to you and Alan for the opportunity to be here too and experience this. Talking about butterflies tonight. I'm not hunting in it, but when we get out there tonight and those 3 handlers collar those dogs up, I'm going to have some butterflies and be excited with them. I mean, I just want to say, you feel that urge, and it's going to be exciting. And I'm just happy to be here and excited for the handlers and the hunters. And I just want to say and thank y'all for the opportunity.
Yeah, well, I'll echo the same thing. I've been at UKC for a little while, and it seems like the guys that we have selected for field reps, they stick around for a good long while, so that always tells me you got to have a passion for the sport, and care about what it is that you do. It's not always easy, the decisions you guys have to make. We sure appreciate everything you do. Thank you all, and hey, this has been interesting to sit down and learn a little bit more about you guys.
Thanks, Alan. Trevor?
Thank y'all, and when you quit having the butterflies, you lose that passion to me. That's the way I look at it.
I agree, and folks will never know how much effort y'all put into it, and from the standpoint they get to seeing it from the back end, it's honestly very rewarding to get to do what we do, and we truly appreciate it. And just as we were talking, Rick and I ate lunch together today, and we was talking about Autumn Oaks, and I was driving through Wednesday night coming out here, and it was late coming through there. You can't drive through Richmond, Indiana, and not get excited about the sport of coon hunting. I mean, here we're in April, and I was driving through, and every part of me was wanting to pull into a hotel and just make Autumn Oaks happen that week. So those are things that you guys make happen for us, and so I appreciate it truly on that part.
Hey, Alan, I don't know if you've been messing around with this new Houndsman Advantage app at all, but I've been playing with it some, and it has some really cool features on it. One, it has the interactive scorecard view where you can assign strike and tree points at the touch of a button, and it automatically totals your scores after each set of points are scored and valued.
Yeah, no, I like it as well. Some of the features that I like is that you can access the rules and that it comes with a search function to easily find any specific rule. Also like that there's a place for your dog's registration numbers, and you can store pictures of your easy entry cards. I like that you can track 2 dogs' performances when out pleasure hunting. You'll find some analytics on your dogs. You can record their accuracy, win percentages, and a whole lot of things like that.
No more lying here on this app. The last thing about the scorecard I'll talk about is it has the summary view as well, where you can see the total points you have and the pending points that you have, along with tree timers for each dog. So it's going to come in handy for judges as well. So check it all out on the new Houndsman Advantage app. Alan, you've been feeding Eukanuba dog feed for a while now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have, and I've really been able to put my beagles to the test, mainly running snowshoe hare up north where they run the hardest, where I put 15, 20, 25 miles on them easily in a day. And I've found that the premium performance sport has really paid dividends. Mainly, I noticed their stamina.
Yeah, same feed that I've been feeding. I think my dog looks good on it. He's really feeling good, and less kennel cleanup for me, so I highly recommend it as well.
Eukanuba, the official performance dog nutrition partner of UKC.
Thank you for listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. Be sure to give us a follow so you don't miss any of our new episodes or content.